This is At the King's Table, a space where we don't come to perform, we come to understand. A space where we don't force growth, we allow it to unfold naturally. And today, we are not here to talk about forgiveness. We are here to experience what it means to move into it, because forgiveness is not something you say, it's something you become ready for. It's a stage of life, and not everyone is there yet. Some people are still feeling the weight. Some are still trying to make sense of what happened. Some are telling themselves they've moved on, but something still lingers. And that's okay, because awareness is the beginning of growth. So today, we're not judging where you are. We're simply creating space for you to see it clearly. Movement 1, honest self-inventory. Let's begin with something real. Before you can forgive, you have to see clearly what you're holding, not what you say you've let go of, but what still lives within you. So ask yourself slowly, what situations still come to mind? What names still bring up emotion? What memories still have energy attached to them? And don't rush past this, because many people skip this step. They say, I'm good, but they've never truly sat with what they're carrying. And here's the truth. What you don't acknowledge, you cannot release. So for the first movement, it's not about fixing anything. It's about seeing it without judgment, without pressure. Just awareness. Movement 2, the story you built. Now let's go a little bit deeper. When something happens, the moment passes, but the story remains. And that story becomes, this is what happened to me. This is what people do. This is why I move the way I move now. And over time, that story becomes part of your identity. So now you're not just remembering something, you're living through it repeatedly. And this is where forgiveness becomes difficult, because to forgive, you have to loosen your attachment to the story. And that doesn't mean the experience didn't matter or it didn't happen. It means you're no longer letting it define you. Moment 3, the comfort in holding on. Let's be honest. Holding on can feel like strength. It can feel like protection, awareness, control. It says, I won't let it happen again. I remember. I'm not naive. And while those things may feel necessary, they can quietly become barriers, because when you hold on, you stay connected. And when you stay connected, you continue to carry. And here's the deeper truth. Holding on feels like power, but it's actually attachment. Movement 4, the human pattern. Let's expand this beyond individuals across the world, across cultures, across belief systems. Forgiveness is spoken about, encouraged, respected, taught, but many people still struggle to live it, not because they don't understand it, but because they haven't gone inward enough to release what they hold in. So this is not about pointing fingers at anyone, because I still struggle with forgiveness. This is about recognizing a pattern within humanity. It's easier to speak about growth than to embody it. And once you see that clearly, you'll stop focusing on what others are doing, and you begin focusing on your own alignment. Movement 5, clarity. Forgiveness versus permission. Let's slow this down, because this is important. Forgiveness does not mean you allow the behavior again. You stay in the same environment. You remove your boundaries. Nah. Forgiveness means you are no longer carrying the emotional weight. That is, you can release someone and still move forward without them. You can forgive and still choose a different path, because forgiveness is internal and boundaries are external. Movement 6, the body remembers. Now let's bring awareness to the body, because this is where truth becomes undeniable. The body carries what the mind repeats. So when you hold on to resentment, your body responds with tension, fatigue, stress, emotional heaviness. Even if you say, I'm fine, we all do it. Nah, I'm fine. I'm good. Your body may still be holding on to something, and when you begin to release, you feel it. You breathe deeper. You soften. You become present because you're no longer carrying something that was meant to stay with you. I'm going to repeat that. You become present because you're no longer carrying something that wasn't meant. It was never meant to stay with you. Movement 7, the process of moving into forgiveness. Let's walk through this slow, because this is the part that I like, the process of moving into forgiveness, the stage of forgiveness. Forgiveness is not a moment. It's a process. It's a lived process. Step 1, awareness. You have to clearly see what you're holding. Step 2, acceptance. You stop denying how it affected you. Step 3, understanding. You begin to see the situation from a wider perspective, in a different frame. Step 4, separation. You realize that what happened, you realize it, but it's not who I am. Step 5, release. You choose again and again to let it go. And here's the key. This is not done at once. It's practice until the weight is gone. It's practice and you move into forgiveness. Movement 8, relearning how to live light. When you release, there's a new experience, which I'll call lightness. But for many people, lightness feels unfamiliar because they've been carrying it for so long. So now when you have to relearn how to live without the weight, without the constant guarding, without the expectation of pain, and this is where real growth begins, because now you're not reacting, you're living. Movement 9, the freedom of non-attachment. Now, I love this one, so let's go a little bit deeper. Forgiveness leads to something more powerful. Non-attachment, not indifference, not disconnection, but freedom. Freedom from needing things to be different than they were. Freedom from needing closure from others. Freedom from repaying the past or replaying in your mind constantly over and over. And when you reach this space, you move differently, lighter, clearer, more intentional. For my closing movement, the invitation to step forward. Forgiveness is not about becoming perfect. Let me say this because I still struggle with forgiveness. And one of the reasons why I'm speaking about this is because I had to realize that there was things I was still holding on in my past marriages, that I was like, with all my training, with all the books I've written, with all the classes, with all certificates I got, I still realized there was open wounds that I just haven't dealt with. And I'm still learning every single day. And I'm not going to say I'm going to master it, now. Just being transparent. So forgiveness is not about becoming perfect. It's about becoming free. Free from what keeps repeating. Free from what keeps weighing you down. Free from what keeps you tied to a version of yourself you've outgrown. And the question is not, do I believe in forgiveness? The question is, am I ready to move into that stage of my life? And when you are, you won't force it. You'll feel it and you'll step into it naturally. If you like to connect with me in a much deeper way, visit my website, IamBernardKing.com. That's IamBernardKing.com. Or visit me on YouTube.com at IamBernardKing. You can also email me if you have questions. Email me at IamBernardKing@gmail.com. And again, make your next move the best move.